After 35 games in the 2010-11 season for Ohio University Bobcat basketball, the season ends in the quarterfinal round of the CIT in Johnson City, Tennessee on Tuesday night. Final score, Ohio loses to the East Tennessee State University Buccaneers 82-73. Ohio finishes the year at 19-16. From the Mini Dome, I'm Russ Eisenstein. Rob Cornelius is alongside. Briefly on this ball game that we'll talk about this season, East Tennessee State just made more plays, not enough good decisions for Ohio in the first half or at winning time, and that's why the Buccaneers move on with 24 wins on the year to the semifinal round of the CIT.
Now, ET hit a gaggle of threes in the first half, most of them by Justin Tubbs, an Alabama transfer. Guy goes for 27 on an average of about 10 and looked like a pro tonight, looked like an SEC level player, and Ohio just couldn't guard him at 3. Late it was Mike Smith, the Atlantic Suns player of the year, but for the most part this lead was set and ready to go in the first half by the Bucks.
Ohio was down by 8 at halftime. Lost the ball game by 9. Now to the season. Ohio finished 19-16, lost in the quarterfinal round of the MAC tournament, won the first round over Toledo, won in the first round of the CIT over Marshall, got a bye to the second round, through the second round of the quarterfinal round tonight. But Ohio certainly had to piece things together as the season went around. It was a reworked roster at the start of the year because of players that weren't on the roster at the start of the season, but they got better at the end. They deserved a postseason appearance when there are 4 tournaments, and they took advantage of it. Got better, got to win.
Team improved, and you look at some of the numbers late in the season, big games out of Reggie Keeley and Ivo Baltic, who returned next year. Baltic went from a guy who would average 5 or 6 early this season to going double figures 12 of his last 13 games. This team is getting better. This team got better despite the 4 great seniors we lose in Tommy and Davon and Tunji and Hassan. This group's going to be better. The recruiting class is solid, and a couple red shirts hanging out on this campus as well that aren't too bad as well.
The future most certainly is bright for Bobcat basketball, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk just a little bit more about Davon Washington, Tommy Freeman, Hassan Sales, and Adetunji Adedepe. You lose a lot there. You lose some spunk. You lose some leadership. You lose some tenacity. Ohio's going to have to find some of those things as you move along, but such is life. That's the nature of college basketball. We sure are going to miss that group of 4.
No, we will. And John Gross epitaphed their careers very well on the radio side, but Tommy's work ethic, his accuracy from 3, and his ability, his contribution to go out and play any spot on the floor when needed, to take the charges. He's a guy that obviously Ohio fans always remember. I remember Dave Jamerson. Davon Washington was a guy who would year after year be the guy who would do the pull-ups on the rim and be the dunking guy who made TV, but this year he was a better player on both ends and really, really grew. And Hassan Sales back for an extra season he didn't expect. No one expected a leader in this group. And say the same thing for Tunji, a guy who worked hard in practice. When he got on the floor, he absolutely busted his butt. And is frankly a good friend, a face that everyone on this campus knows. Everyone, not just sports fans, will miss Tunji.
Last season's offseason was a little bit tumultuous. That goes without saying. I think this offseason will be a far smoother sailing event than last year, to be sure. And that helps raise the expectations for next season. The future most certainly is bright, and the postseason was a huge benefit. I'm excited for 2011-2012.
And I think you look at what other teams in the MAC East lose and the MAC West lose, and I think Ohio may well be the pick of coaches meeting others to lead this MAC East next year. We'll see what happens between now and October and November.
Thanks to Ashley Hartzell. Thanks to Evan Shaw. Thanks to all of Bobcat fans all over the world, really. We can't thank you enough for taking interest in this team, this program, and what we do each and every night during the season. It's been such a great deal of fun. And Rob, our 3rd year's in the books, buddy, it's been a great deal of fun.
Yeah, proud to work with you, proud to work for my university, and proud of all that you can join us for all the stuff that we and Evan and Ashley and the rest of the gang put out for you on the internet year-round.
So after year 4, the completion of this year coming up, do I get an honorary degree?
It's a real possibility, although most folks take longer than 4 years. You know how that really works.
Fair enough. I'll put in my time. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening. Ohio ends its season after 35 ball games, 19-16 the final record. We're looking forward to 2011-2012, but 2010-11 ends in Johnson City in the CIT's quarterfinal round with an 82-73 loss to the East Tennessee State University Buccaneers. For Rob C., I'm Russ E. This is Bobcat TV.